Mind of Basketball Podcast, NBA Finals Edition. I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And it's our basketball podcast final special where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams in the finals from the previous games, from the previous days. And Ja, Game 5 is in the books, and the Golden State Warriors are one win away from NBA champion, from being NBA champions. You have anything to say about that?
Two things. Your prediction is becoming more and more correct day by day. And Beantown Bates. Beantown. That's what it is. Let's just be honest here. Let's just be honest, you know. Boston, that game 4 loss was brutal. It was really brutal. I'll tell you why. They did what they had to do, in which they stole a game on the road in that first game. They got the job done. And surprisingly, believe it or not, I think something that we haven't really talked about with Boston is the fact that they've been really good in the fourth quarter up until – actually, they've been really good in the fourth quarter, actually. I can't remember a game which they kind of really struggled. I understand they probably
last night.
Outside of last night, but they never really struggled in the fourth. But that game 4 loss in which they made Curry legit single-handedly just take them over. They needed that game. They need that game to give them some kind of momentum, give them some kind of edge. And don't get me wrong, even though it was 2-2, it was kind of tough because again they're going back into Oracle, and hey, the greatest shooter of all time didn't have a good game, but bad thing was everyone else around them did. So, and Boston made turnovers destroy them.
And well, I remember telling you that the Warriors will not win if Stephen Curry is just the only one going off.
Yeah.
What championship team has ever had just one player show up and they win?
Well, shit, it looked like we're going to see it for the first time ever.
And then Game 5 happened. So that's not possible. Also, I mean, it helped that Celtics stepped up their defense on Curry, and also Curry. Most of this was just on Curry. He was just not making the shots.
Yeah,
shots that he would usually make, he was missing for some reason. I mean, when you have the greatest shooter of all time and Steph Curry not make a 3-point shot, that tells you something's going on. Something's up.
And along with the fact I saw a play in which he passed out of a shot. It was a 2-on-1 fast break, him and Clay, and he just passed out of it. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, I thought he would take that.
Well, first of all, the 2-on-1 fast break. If it was anybody else, I'll be really upset. But since it's Curry, I'll let him rock with the 3-point shot. But the 2-on-1 fast break, he should have cut to the lane.
He should have. But again, he's the greatest shooter of all time. And we saw him pull it from places that we never thought somebody could pull it from. So I thought he would take the 3-point shot. It was a regular uncontested 3-point shot. But, he makes it when contested, I guess. So, so I guess he wanted to contest, but he pulled out of it.
But just in Game 5, he didn't have it going. But good thing is, Draymond actually realized he can play basketball again. He actually contributed. And, of course, he still got fouled out because he's Draymond. But he actually contributed to this win. It was big time in this win.
Yeah, he was.
He had a career high 8 points in the first half. Okay, I don't know if that's a career high, but he was getting boards, he was making plays, he was playing great defense, and he was playing his role. He was playing his game.
Yeah, yes, he was.
Something that we haven't seen for majority of this series with Draymond.
Yeah.
Of course, like I said, he still got fouled out because he's still Draymond, but at least he was actually productive and beneficial in this win for Golden State.
Yes, he was.
Someone else who was beneficial in this win, Andrew Wiggins.
I got something I want to say about that.
Go ahead.
You can finish. You want to finish first? And let me.
Oh yeah, I just want to talk about my guy Andrew Wiggins. So, I know some people don't like him, but hey, Andrew Wiggins proving the doubters wrong. Everybody was saying he was a bust. Why was he the number 1 pick? You know, probably should have never traded him, but whatever. Why all these things about Andrew Wiggins, all these things about his work ethic, why haven't he taken this next leap, blah, blah, blah. Well, listen, all of that is thrown out when you step up in the biggest stage in basketball. You're in the NBA Finals, and Andrew Wiggins has been playing big time, offensively and defensively. I'm looking at you, Tatum. He has been absolutely exceptional.
Jabari's better.
What?
Jabari's better. Nah, I love Jabari Parker though. I love.
I know. Unfortunately, he got the injury, and then his career just derailed after that. But Andrew Wiggins, he's been their second best player for majority of this series.
Yes, he has.
And last night he was their best player.
Yeah. Hey, you remember a few years ago, like when he was still in Minnesota, and how I was on that Andrew Wiggins hype train, and I had faith in him, and everybody, and each and every time I had faith, it was one of y'all trying to clown me, talking about, I'm just sorry, he's not going to get the job done. Well, how you like me now?
No, we're not doing that.
Because
you turned your back on Andrew.
No, I did not. No, I did not. What?
There is video footage of this. What?
What was this? When did I
you clowned him when he was in Golden State. When he got traded to Golden State, he was like, I give up. His worth ethic, he should be a lot better than he is. Give up on Andrew. You said that. You don't say you didn't.
Okay. I did, but you also said the same shit. You also said the same thing. You said,
but I wasn't. See, that my mine is different from yours because you was high on Andrew Wiggins. You was really high on Andrew Wiggins.
Okay,
and then you turned your back like you do with most players nowadays. You turned your back on him and you started cutting his ass.
No. Okay, let's get this straight. Okay, I ain't no athlete. I never been an athlete. I never will be an athlete. But let me be honest. In the sports world, right, what we like to do with athletes who are considered to be highly talented and high time and big time prospects, people who like to give them hype, right? I'm not saying I was giving Andrew Wiggins hype, but there is a certain level of expectation, just like what you said when you're the number one pick. Let's be honest, it's great what he's doing now. I feel like he was never a bust. A dude who averaged over 20 points a couple of times can never be a bust. In which, if you go back and you check the stats, Andrew Wiggins averaged over 20 a couple of times in his career before he got traded to Golden State. No question about it. But in terms of expectations and what we thought he kind of been in terms of individual self, I just expected more from him. So when that whole thing happened in which he went to Golden State, I kind of lost hope and faith in terms of the play that I thought he would become, which is a potential all-time player.
So what you mean how you like me now? You turned your back on him. Don't see how you like me now. You never stayed on the bandwagon with Wiggins. You got off. You leaped off.
Nah, don't say I leaped off.
What?
Don't say I leaped off.
You can't use that argument for Wiggins, bro.
Okay, I probably downgraded, but I didn't leap off.
There's video footage. It's up there in our podcast episode somewhere. Okay? But there's video footage of you clowning him. Okay? Every time I bring up Andrew Wiggins.
What? I did not do that.
I swear. Just find the footage. Find the footage. It's all there. Everything. It's on the internet, baby.
Well, we like 1,000 episodes in. That's going to be too much. I don't know. How do I find that?
I'm telling you, it's there. And the fact that you said that you did get off the bandwagon with Andrew Wiggins proves that I am right. So what you mean? Okay, how you like me now?
Actually, I kind of remember, but I do also remember saying sometimes it's also situations though too. And I said Minnesota's probably not that perfect of a situation for him.
But you didn't lean towards that. You leaned towards the I give up.
Okay, yes, I did lean on a little bit in terms of the I give up, but I did say situations could do some kind of benefit for a player. Didn't I say that? I didn't say that.
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember. I'm not saying you said it. I'm not saying you did. But what I do remember is you were leaping off the bandwagon. Yeah. Jumping as high as D-Rose in his prime. Leaping off that. So don't be like, how you like me now? What you mean? How? Andrew Wiggins should be saying that to you.
I still dominated him. I still dominated with him in 2K17, so it doesn't matter.
Andrew Wiggins has proven everybody wrong, me and you both, because even if that He's been underachieving. People saying underachieving, disappointing career, bust, which I can agree with the first two. I'm not agreeing that Andrew Wiggins is a bust. I mean, yeah, a bust is someone that's probably should be out the league by now, or someone that is a role player by now. Well, or a backup to a backup. That's a bust. Andrew Wiggins is a starting caliber player and has always been a starting caliber player. And if he's not starting, he's a sixth man. That's not a bust.
I seem to be.
Was he third pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bust. Sam Bowie. That's a bust.
Hey, that's unfair. That's injuries.
Okay, yeah. But it's still.
Yeah, true.
Ray Golden. Unfortunately, injuries too, but you know what I'm saying? Like Anthony Bennett. I don't know if he was a bust because of a bust, you got to have high expectations. I don't think anybody had high expectations for Anthony Bennett. That's still one of the weirdest picks ever. That's one of those picks. That's one of the only times I've seen them pick like first pick, and everybody's like, "Whoa!"
I remember that actually.
Wow. But nonetheless, enough about busts. Let's get back on topic with Andrew Wiggins. He stepped up in the biggest stage in basketball. NBA Finals, and imagine telling yourself before this series that with on the floor with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins was the best player in one of the games.
Probably one of the most talented.
But... No, he was the best player in Game 5. He was the best player on the floor.
Yeah,
there's no question about that. And the night when Curry struggled. And night when Tatum had a good comeback into the game in the third quarter, because remember the Celtics were down.
Yeah.
And Tatum let that comeback in that third. But then after that, he couldn't really do much in that fourth. Not to mention he was missing free throws. What was going on? We gotta get on tape. Let's move on from Andrew Wiggins. Listen, Andrew, if you drop 40, you my finals MVP.
So not Curry.
If he dropped, Andrew Wiggins has to drop 40. He has to drop 40. Or 20 and 30 rebounds.
I'm sorry, I'm still gonna get the finals MVP regardless.
Yeah, I know. He had 4 good games out of 5. He's gonna get the finals MVP if the Warriors win. But let's get to Tatum. Tatum, what's going on, man? You know, you like that fourth quarter, you're supposed to be stepping up. And credit to the Warriors defense, which they need to give a lot of credit because they've been excellent.
Yeah.
There's no defense on the free throw line. Why are you 2 for 7 on the free throw line? And all night you was complaining about foul calls. And then you finally, this was like in the first, I think it was first half. He was complaining about foul calls all the time. He finally gets a foul call and he missed both free throws. Don't complain if you're going to miss, Shaq.
Hey, Shaq made him when it needs to count.
Okay, yeah. Like, come on. Like, how do you feel about Tatum's performance in these finals so far?
With the caliber that he's supposed to be on, and again, with somebody that we know personally keep hyping, talking about he's the second best player in the league or whatsoever in that bull, he's been pretty underwhelming, you know what I mean? And that is just the most simplest way I could put it. Again, struggled in game 1. In game 2, he had that bounce back, and you felt like he was going to be on a good route from there. And then game 3 and 4, again, as I said, the tables have turned. I said the type of defense you guys, the Boston Celtics, was playing on these superstars in the past rounds. You thought they would do it to Curry, but yeah, the Golden State Warriors is doing that to him. They hounded him. They getting him uncomfortable. He doesn't really know what to do. In certain moments, because of the Warriors' good defense, he's missing shots that you think he will easily make and things like that. And he just hasn't been in that kill mode that we have seen him be on throughout this whole playoffs. And it's kind of crazy to see because Jaylen Brown is outperforming. Mind you, let's be honest here, Evan.
Not in game 5.
Well, not in game 5, because he struggled, and especially I'm not even gonna lie to you. It got to a certain point I really had to turn off the game when he had another turnover. He did 2 turnovers. The moment I got back into looking at the game, and it annoyed me. But
yeah, with Tatum, he had like 3 air balls.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, because what it is about him. He's been on a tear, and let me tell you something. God rest his soul. Kobe Bryant is looking down on you right now. He's not smiling. He's probably rolling over in his grave right now watching you. And that's no disrespect. I might cut that out because I don't want no kind of flock from anybody. If anything, if that goes thing, but we speaking of how it is, you just haven't really been at that level that we just seen you do like throughout this whole playoff run to the finals. And now, even though you have picked it up in this game 5, even though you missed crucial buckets that probably kind of made you
airballed crucial buckets. He had 2 air balls in the 4th.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? Now,
Kobe in 97.
I got it. But now it's desperate. You're down 3-2. And you're back on your home floor. You better get it together. That's all I can really say at this point. You better get it together. You got to get into that mode, that kill mode, that mentality, and do it on both ends. Stop complaining and just let the game come. Because you can't. Because look at now, Draymond and Gary Payton following you all the way to your bench, really double teaming you, despite the fact there's no play going on. Getting into your head. I said you just can't make that happen. And you real quickly about the Jaylen Brown situation. I'm about to say Jaylen Brown, who, mind you, let's be honest, when it comes to these two, everybody likes to talk about them to a good amount, but you always hear more about Tatum than Brown. You've been hearing about this since the beginning, and you even saw it in this regular season, how much more talk that Tatum got and how Jaylen Brown has went under the radar. Well, Jaylen Brown has been doing way better than you in these finals, even though he has had his moments also. But he has been doing way better than you in these finals, and it's time for you guys to both get on the same page in the same game, please.
I agree, and I think with the Celtics as a whole, they just sometimes not getting to their element, getting out of their head, because I feel like they can worry more about the foul calls than actually playing. Now I understand, especially in Game 5, some of those calls were kind of ridiculous, and some of those calls it didn't go their way. They didn't get any foul calls, but it looked like they was just every time.
Yeah. And they can
this is not just with Tatum, this is not just with Brown, this is with Smart, this is with Horford, this is with Williams. This is the NBA Finals. You are not going to get the same calls that you would in the regular season. You're not going to get the same calls that you would in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now some of those, I agree, should have gotten those calls. Some of those kind of ridiculous. Some of those where to end the second quarter, where Curry called got fouled. They didn't call a foul. The ball was clearly off on him. Robert Williams was right there, but they called it off Robert Williams, and the Warriors got the ball. I understand that, but you can't. What can you do about that?
Exactly.
You just got to keep playing to your game. You got to keep playing.
Exactly.
And credit to them for coming back in that third quarter.
Yeah.
But with the Warriors, luckily for them, they did the Warriors to the Warriors in the third quarter.
Yeah.
But because they were down and because they were missing every single 3-point shot in that first half, literally, I think they started 0 for 11. Because of that bad start, and even though Golden State shot 9 for 40 from 3, so they lived by the 3 and they died by the 3, they still lost this game somehow, the Celtics.
Yeah. But, that's the Golden State philosophy. You know what I mean? They're the only ones who can legit.
Yeah, they're the only ones that won a championship based off 3-point shooting.
They started it. They could get away with it all they want. Like I'm sorry, it's pretty. When it comes to that, it's almost like pretty privilege. You know what I mean? Since they started it, they could get away with it. But in terms of the Boston now, let's be honest. Again, I've said it before, and I'm saying it again. You've been close to making it to the finals plenty of times before, but you never made it over that hump until now. You know what I mean? Again, this franchise is known for winning championships, yes, historically, but this is the first time that this core has been in this finals moment. You know what I mean? Compared to a Golden State team in which legit like 4 of those guys on that team, probably 3, I guess it's only 3 or probably 4. I don't remember. Actually, Iguodala. So
yeah, it is 4.
4 of these guys have been to the finals plenty of times, legit created a dynasty off of this, so they know how it is. They understand what's at stake. They understand everything. Again, you said it, experience. You said it before the finals, so they got experience. You can't afford to let a team that has already so much over you get into it because of the fact you don't have a foul call going your way or so. It's not going to be like that, and you got to get out of that.
Yep. Well, Golden State, like I said, they live by the 3. They died by the 3. They died, but they still won. Yeah, good for them. And a shout out to, obviously, we mentioned Andrew Wiggins, who was the best player on the floor in Game 5, 26 and 13. So their best rebounder in the past 2 games as well. And he's hustling and he's showing effort. And you see it. He wants it.
Yeah,
he wants it. You can tell by the rebounds. You can see he wants it, and he's guarding the opposing team's best player too at the same time, and has done a pretty good job on Tatum when guarding him.
Yeah,
you know, I give that credit to Andrew Wiggins. Also, Klay Thompson, who had a great game in Game 5. He warming up for the next game, but Klay Thompson had a great game in Game 5. Gary Payton, nice to see him have a good game as well. Gary Payton second. Sorry.
The real glove.
Stop.
I'm joking.
And Jordan Poole, who ended that third quarter with that ridiculous shot, and that momentum just really turned in the Warriors' favor because of that. And also, this credit to this Warriors team. They take the big win in Game 5, 1 win away from the championship. Now here we go. In Boston, win or go home time for the Celtics. It could be the end of their season and the end of the NBA season. Game 6, Thursday at 9 o'clock. Do the Warriors end it here? Do they get the chip in Boston, in TD Garden, or do the Boston Celtics force a Game 7? Ja, what's your pick?
Well, you predicted this going into this amount of games with the team who's up right now winning the series, and I'll have to agree with you, to be honest. I feel like the NBA season is going to be over. The Warriors have momentum. Again, after that Game 4 loss, it just the momentum just shifted their way. They have an opportunity to do something special. And again, more importantly, it's a Game 6, and you know who we don't want to see in the Game 6. But unfortunately, you're going to see him. So I got the Golden State Warriors. I can't believe you made me watch these finals. I got the Golden State Warriors closing it out. And I guess 4.
Yep. And like my prediction, I have only missed 1 game predicting so far, and that was Game 1. Sticking with my original prediction. Golden State will be champions. They will win in Game 6 on Thursday. And that will be the end of the NBA season. All right. Looks like this will be it, Ja.
Yeah. I'm
Might
feeling
be
bad. Yeah.
What?
I'm just feeling bad for one person. He's not even playing in these series.
Wiseman?
Nah, Kevin Durant.
Listen to me. I don't feel bad at all.
He better hope and pray Boston do something, because you just know. You already know the talks. You already know how it's going to be like all over.
They needed KD.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Kyrie.
They needed Kevin Durant. They wouldn't have won without him.
Oh, shoot. Damn. You can't speak anymore if that happens.
Listen, KD needed the Warriors more than the Warriors needed KD. Warriors went to back-to-back finals before KD got there. Come on. Let's calm down with that.
Aisha can't cook.
But hey, thanks to Curry having a terrible performance in Game 5, you can't say what you said before.
What? Nah. What you mean?
Hey, he had a terrible performance in Game 5.
Hey, it's fine. He's still Okay, I can't say he did it all by himself anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Wiggins.
But that was just 5%. He's just Andrew Wiggins is just 5%. Curry's the 95.
If Curry drops 64, then maybe you can say that, but that's not gonna happen.
You don't know that. If Elgin Baylor could do it, why can't Curry do it?
Yeah, he's 61 against Boston. Jordan had 63 against Boston. Boston, what's going on? But hey, all right. Sorry, Celtics, your season and our predictions in our eyes will end on Thursday. Yeah. We're about to end it right now. But all right. Let's wrap things up and we'll see y'all for Friday, which could be the last podcast of this season. We'll see what happens. Maybe Boston will surprise us. But for now, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure to our next podcast, which could be our last. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, support channel, give us feedback, all that good stuff.
Also tune into our social medias, our TikTok and our Instagram.
Yes, and of course, once again, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
This was the Mind of Basketball Podcast.
NBA Finals Edition.